Welcome to Santa Clarita Valley. We're here on your hometown station, AM 1220 KHTS, with the Neighborhood Watch. Twice a month. Yeah, I'm getting loud. Twice a month, we talk about all things community service related with our friends at the Santa Clarita Valley Sheriff Station. With us, as always, co-host, co-guest, special guest. There we go. I'm getting there. I just had my coffee, Josh. Don't give me that look.
I wasn't.
Josh Dubin in the studio with us, and special co-host is what I was trying to say. Jessica Bomb Threat Boyer.
And Good Perry morning. Smith's cell phone that is not on silent.
It is now.
Thank
it
you.
Is now, after that.
Thank you.
Hopefully, no one heard that.
And Kyle Jellings operating the board.
Kyle Jellyman Jellings operating the board, fresh from his morning hour. And he's staying quiet.
He played holiday music.
He does. Well, he loves the holiday music.
I listened to it on my drive over here.
Correction. We love the holiday music from Thanksgiving to Christmas Day, right?
Who's we?
KHTS AM 1220.
I don't think you can speak for everyone, Perry.
Well,
was that like a figuratively we?
Yes,
or like
yes,
you and the mouse in your pocket?
The communal we. There is no rodent in my pocket.
Wow.
Anyways, back to the show. We're going to be talking about why we do this, which is to let people know about the outreach that the Santa Clarita Valley Sheriff Station does in the community. Let them know about Nixles, Facebooks, Josh's Twitter account. Talk about the Community Academy. Talk about DUI checkpoints. Get a little community perspective. What do you think about this interview situation going on? The interview, the movie. Can you weigh in on that?
Well, now you're trying to put me on the spot.
I'm putting you on the hot seat early.
You know, again, my personal opinion.
This is not the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department's formal opinion. This is Deputy Josh Dubin speaking extemporaneously.
And now with all that buildup, I really don't have an opinion because really you could wait. You could.
Why do we need to preface that then?
I don't know.
Oh, gosh.
I mean, you can go both sides. Obviously, there's a potential public safety issue, but on the other side, you know.
Brilliant marketing though too. At the same time, like,
but
I didn't want to see the interview until I was told I couldn't go see it. Now I'm dying to know what they're trying to hold from me.
And now you're never going to see it,
right? It's brilliant. Sony, congratulations,
but
well done.
I thought that. Correct me if I'm wrong. They were not the ones that.
I don't think they intended for this to happen. I mean, obviously they're going to lose millions if this thing doesn't hit the theater, and then their whole strategy is around a big release weekend. I mean, they make most of their money back the opening weekend, right? I mean, certainly not a movie insider, but that seems like the opening weekend statistic is usually like at least a quarter of the take. But if your movie was going to bomb anyways, like this probably was, and only going to make like $10 million.
That's harsh.
You're going to make like $30 million in DVD sales now because people are going to be buying it all over the place. I don't know. I'm not a movie expert. This is the Neighborhood Watch. I talk about law enforcement things.
Wow.
But I'm just thinking, come on, the interview, James Franco, Seth Rogen. It's probably not a classic comedy.
I personally think that Seth Rogen's a fine actor.
He's funny.
James Franco's not bad himself.
Oh my
and Jessica
gosh,
likes
the studio is turning on me early, folks. Oh, while we're being in the mood of charitable and nice and to our neighbors, talk about the toy drive going on, courtesy of our partnership with the sheriff station and several other businesses, schools, community partnerships. You can still give toys, right, between now and December 23rd?
Yeah, we have that. We have a giant toy box set up in the lobby at the sheriff's station, and it's full almost every day, which is outstanding.
People go in there and pick out the good stuff? Or
No. Deputy Lampkin and Deputy Trejo, which was yesterday, was his last day, or today.
Uncle Joe, as he is affectionately known in the city. Former mayor of Newhall.
Correct.
He is also colloquially known.
I think he's known me since I've been 10 years old.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
Was he chasing you around when you were a troubled youth? In Santa Clarita Valley?
No, he was friends with our family a long time ago. He knew a young Dubin.
Was he an inspiration for you to get on the force?
Yes, everybody is an inspiration, including you, Perry Smith.
Oh, I don't know about that. Just the listing of the places where you can drop off toys to the toy drive is on hometownstation.com. And do you guys have a list on your sheriff's station?
We sent out a Nixle message about it. It's on our Twitter, Facebook, Nixle.
But how can people get a Nixle, I ask?
Was that a setup?
That was a setup.
Was that a shameless
that
setup?
Clearly a shameless setup.
That's different than a shameless plug.
It's true. That's true.
So,
like, follow me at Perry R. Smith.
That was a shameless
at
plug.
JDLS. Those are shameless plugs. This, I think, is like useful information, though. But yeah, annual holiday toy drive, so you can still give and remember all of the toys stay here in the Santa Clarita Valley, which is awesome. That's the best part of the drive.
Right. We work with the Child and Family Center, Domestic Violence Center, a bunch of other organizations, Boys and Girls Club, bunch of other organizations out here. So
I think everybody
Good.
wants to know what Jessica's getting me for Christmas, right?
we could talk
about that.
We could talk about
Bobby
it.
and I actually went shopping for our bosses last night
Oh,
on the real.
boy. Well,
But
now-
you don't get to find out yet, so.
Speaking of bosses, what is Kyle Jellings getting me for Christmas?
He has a microphone now. For the record, folks, he's choosing not to answer. Let's make that clear.
It's too early for Kyle Jones.
1 minute to break.
And that is the extent of the conversation and interaction we have with sound engineer and station manager Kyle Jellyman Jellings.
So if you're just tuning in, the Neighborhood Watch, we've been doing this now for over a year.
I was going to say, this is the last show of the year,
Right.
and we are about to technically enter our third calendar year of doing this.
Correct.
Started in October
And
2013.
You know, at our we're going to talk about the Community Academy later, but I was talking about the Neighborhood Watch at the Community Academy, and people wanted to know about it, and I said, well, you know what, we try and keep it a little bit lighter so that it's entertaining, because the stuff that we talk about is obviously very important stuff.
And
Community
generally,
stuff.
when people have contact with deputies, it's not. It's a
Right.
serious issue. It's
Right.
not like,
And so we try and keep the show a little bit lighter, but we
oh, God.
really, Kyle, I was just
He did-
gonna
he
I was
did.
gonna go on a stellar
I was about
rant
to
right
launch
now.
into a monologue. Thanks, Kyle.
Let's go to commercial and then
All
I'll
right,
finish
we'll take
my
a quick
monologue.
break on the Neighborhood Watch, brought to you by All American Bail Bonds on your hometown station, AM 1220 KHTS, and we'll be right back after this. Welcome back on your Neighborhood Watch. We're on your hometown station, AM 1220 KHTS, where twice a week the show brought to you by All American Bail Bonds talks about Santa Clarita Valley Sheriff Station outreach, what's going on in our community. We have Jessica Boyer, news staff writer, in the studio, as well as co-host Deputy Josh Dubin. We were just talking about the toy drive community stuff, and then of course during the break, can we?
We were talking about. Well, I was going to go on a monologue. You called it a monologue.
The monologue, right?
Right. I was just, as this is our last Neighborhood Watch of the year
Of 2014.
and you said what, 3 calendar years that we've been involved?
Right. We started October 2013 with just an idea and a dream of radio greatness, and here we are still striving for that.
Yes. And
15
so
months
we,
later.
we talk about important community issues. We talk about, things relevant to the Santa Clarita Valley as it pertains to law enforcement, some things going on in our community. We do this show twice a month, every other Thursday, and we try and keep it a little bit lighter, so at least it's entertaining. We hope that people tune in for the entire hour. Here's stuff that's going on in our community. Here's ways. Well, that's...
You did get a little carried away.
I got a little carried away. You can hear ways to protect yourself and from becoming a victim of a crime. And yeah, so we've gotten a lot of positive feedback about the show, so we appreciate, the people that interact and engage with us about it. And yeah, so that's the whole premise. As we wrap up this year, I'm done. Go ahead, Barry.
You have these dramatic pauses. I don't know where you're going. We need signals. We need cues like pitcher catcher, like the signal,
Like-
what kind of pitch to throw. Yeah, because we're getting cross mogenation. Anyways, but along those lines, we have.
I'm sorry, pause. Mogenation?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, Austin Powers reference there.
No.
No.
Jessica, you're too young. Okay.
No.
Well, we're gonna talk about what we call Jessica Bomb Threat Boyer in a second, but
Oh, no. Really?
but along those lines, we have Ken Chase coming on the next segment. He's a Sulpher Springs School Board member, and he was going to talk about his experience with the Community Academy and all that. But first, I want to talk about something that we get a lot of discussion about in the community, which is DUI checkpoints. Coming up Friday. Obviously, it's timely for the holidays, I'd imagine, because you guys
Right.
see a lot.
And if I was looking on Twitter last night, there is a lot of DUI checkpoints that are going to happen on Friday, Saturday.
Yeah, certainly not just the Santa Clarita Valley
Right.
Sheriff Station. Lakewood, they have.
I saw on the Malibu Sheriff
Even
Station.
in the Boo, huh?
They're having one on Friday, the same day as us, and they used a picture from Santa Clarita of
Represent.
a picture that I took.
Does that tear you up inside?
No, it's good. It's good that we're able to get the word out, ahead of time. We're having a DUI checkpoint, which is really good because part of the point of a DUI checkpoint is to, raise top of mind awareness, especially with this weekend. A lot of people are having holiday parties, get-togethers. We're going to talk about. Let me just pause for a moment and ask: does
Please.
Barry Smith own an ugly sweater? Does
I
Jessica
don't.
Bomb Threat
I
Boyer?
realize-
I borrowed my mom's the other day.
And is it outstanding?
It was awesome. Thank you, Mama Boyer.
Mama Boyer.
You take a risk at an ugly sweater. I don't have an ugly sweater.
I just bought one on Amazon.
Really?
Right.
What is so ugly about it?
It has reindeers on the front, but
Oh no.
What if you like love reindeers and like people
Well,
think that's a great sweater and you're like,
well,
"Man,
the
this is my
reindeers,
ugly sweater."
the reindeers are kissing.
Oh, that's just precious.
It is precious.
It's more cute than ugly.
Yeah.
Boy. So, but talk to me a little bit about DUI checkpoints and how does that work? You guys also do saturation patrols when there's,
Correct.
when you want to also focus on DUI enforcement. What is talk to me through a traffic stop on a suspected DUI. What do they tell you? What is the kind of the procedure when you see somebody? Like, I mean, you're obviously looking for people driving erratically or making suspicious.
Well, are you talking about a saturation, or are you talking about
I'm talking about first
the
saturation
checkpoint?
patrols. Like,
Well, the saturation patrols is basically the premise is we just have extra officers, deputies out in the field. Oftentimes, that is paid for by a grant from the Office of Traffic Safety.
all of ours are paid for, or no, I'm sorry, the checkpoints are paid for by a grant, right? But
Some of the saturation is also.
Oh, really? Okay.
Right. And so you'll have these extra deputies out, and their sole mission is to do traffic enforcement, DUI enforcement. And so they're going to be driving around. They're going to be looking for, signs of suspected DUI drivers. And if there is enough probable cause, obviously, and reasonable suspicion, they're going to conduct a traffic stop and investigation and so on and so forth.
So somebody's swerving, right? That would be like a sign, I would imagine, for if you're on a saturation patrol, you see somebody swerving around the road, you're going to pull them over, right?
Right. I mean, some of the DUIs that I've personally arrested, you'll be driving behind a car and you'll notice that the car, weaves into another lane and then pulls back into the lane and, not necessarily using turn signals and then kind of straddles the lane, just stuff that, like that, maybe forgot to turn your headlights on, driving with no headlights, all different violations of the law, but you're kind of watching to see, how these things are kind of putting it together and then affecting the driving. So once you make your observations and you think that this person could be under the influence, and now you've witnessed obviously numerous violations that I've just mentioned, you'll conduct a traffic stop. You'll speak to the person. Hey, this is the reason why I pulled you over. You did X, Y, and Z that I observed you. Let's talk about your license, insurance, registration. And in the meantime, now I'm looking at your eyes. I'm smelling. Do I smell the odor of alcohol? I'm visually. Can I see open containers? There's been a number of cases that you'll look in the cup holder and there'll be an open Bud Light. So
that's pretty casual attitude.
Right.
I mean, that's obviously illegal. You can never have an open container of alcohol.
right. There's vehicle code sections regarding open.
I learned that actually at a DUI checkpoint.
You learned that when you got a ticket for
No,
that?
I didn't get a ticket because it was obvious that I hadn't been drinking and no one in the car actually had.
But was it obvious?
We had
Barry?
a bottle of Glaive that I bought.
Oh, what?
Glaive. It's a Scottish liqueur. It's very hard to get. It's a ceremony. It's not like a
Wow.
Wow.
Barry's fancy.
drop it in.
Seriously?
It's a very small. I mean, they're a very small selection of stores. One in the
Bevmo?
Santa Clarita Valley. No, Bevmo does not carry it. They haven't carried it for 5 years. I'm telling you, this is a very rare, hard to find liqueur. It was a gift for a family member. We had opened it to like all have, just a taste. It's kind of a honey whiskey liqueur. Very good. But I opened the bottle, closed the bottle,
I learned so
and then we
much about
drove
Barry.
home. And then we drove home, and sure enough, as we're driving home, we hit the DUI checkpoint, and one of the volunteers, what is the name? Explorers, was doing the walkthrough with the flashlight, and he's like, "Oh, what is that?" It was an open container. I mean, it was sealed, but it had been opened.
Did you explain the whole backstory?
I did. I gave him the whole backstory
of how hard it is to get, and this is magical.
They weren't so much concerned with that as far as like had I been drinking, and
Right.
Obviously none of us
the
were.
public safety issues.
Right. And but they let me go. But then I realized like from then on I got to put it in the trunk or something.
Right.
because,
That's
yeah.
better. Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
So-
Well, we got to take a quick commercial break. I don't want you to start another monologue on me because we
I
gotta
won't.
take care of our sponsors, All American Bail Bonds. But we'll be right back after this on your hometown station, AM 1220 KHTS.